Hi there and welcome back to Mommy Hates Cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make this easy air fryer fried squash. You can make this in your air fryer or your Ninja Foodi Multi-Cooker, either one, using the air crisp function. It's also easy to make gluten-free if that's a need, and you can make this with zucchini or squash. Either one will work just as well. They're going to be done the same way. So you'll need the following ingredients: 2 medium-sized yellow squash thinly sliced, 1 cup of buttermilk, 2 cups of gluten-free or regular all-purpose flour, depending on your preference of how you want to make these, along with 2 eggs beaten, 2 cups gluten-free or regular breadcrumbs, and then salt to taste. Coarse salt usually works the best for this, but you can really do either that you prefer. It's totally up to you. So let's get started with this recipe for air fryer fried squash. The first thing you need to do is go ahead and slice the squash if you haven't already. Place it in a shallow bowl or dish and then coat it with buttermilk for about 10 to 15 minutes. This will help all the ingredients soak. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use regular milk and then add a little bit of white vinegar to it to give it that same taste and same method basically. But I've gone ahead and done that, and I'm trying to make sure they're all underneath there so that they fully soak. Now you can use this same method for onion rings as well. So this same method works for a variety of veggies. I've used it for avocados too. So you really can use this same thing for a variety of different vegetables. So now you're going to prepare 3 different bowls. You'll put one with your flour, one with your beaten eggs, and one with the breadcrumbs and a dash of salt. Now I usually start off with the ingredient measurements that I've listed at the beginning of the video, but if you need more, just have them on hand and you can add more if you do more veggies than what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do is dip each of the slices of squash into the flour, and I'm just going to dust off the excess, and then I'm going to coat it with the egg, and then finally with the breadcrumbs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now in the bowl of breadcrumbs, I did add a little bit of salt, so you can do that as well, or you can add it whenever you're cooking them, either way. Or you can do both. So I'm going to dip this in my egg, and now I'm going to coat it with my breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to place these evenly into the air fryer. I do like to spray the basket of the air fryer with grapeseed oil spray before I put them in. So I'm just going to place them all in there, and you're going to do the same process for every single one of those slices. So it does take some patience. So now I'm just adding a little more salt to them before I cook them. So once you have them in the air fryer, you're going to use the air crisp function for the Ninja Foodi or air fry for about 5 minutes on each side at 390 degrees Fahrenheit. So I've gone ahead and done that. Now I do like to spray them with the grapeseed oil spray before I start cooking them. If they look a little floury during the cook time, you can spray them again with grapeseed oil spray, and this will help them get that brown color as well. Now you can flip them halfway through the cook time if you prefer. I usually check on them, and if they need to be flipped, I'll flip them. Normally they don't really need to be flipped, so it's just kind of up to you. But this is what they look like when they're all done. They're nice and brown, they're crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. So you continue doing this for the remaining squash. So I usually end up doing 2 batches, and this is what it looks like when it's all done. So in the picture here, I've used smaller breadcrumbs, which is why it looks a little bit different than the ones I used in the video. So you can see that here, and this recipe is super easy, works well with zucchini, squash, onion rings, really any of the vegetables. But you can find this full recipe for air fryer fried squash over on mommyhatescooking.com or airfryerfanatics.com. You'll find the recipe in both spots. And I hope you enjoyed learning how to make air fryer fried squash, and be sure to like and subscribe so that you do not miss the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in today.